introduction about me. I am Namita Ramani, founder and CEO of Above Digital, a digital marketing agency based in Dubai, which I started in 2004. We help small businesses grow using online campaigns on Facebook and Google Ads. I also teach digital marketing, and I run an academy online called AboveDigitalAcademy.com if you would like to know about the courses that we offer on digital marketing. We had a fantastic discussion last live with Roxana on servant leadership. I'm sure a lot of you were live with me on that one, and for those who have not seen the video, please go back on AboveDigitalAcademy.com and look at the blogs there where we have posted the video of last time. This week she's joining us again, and thank you so much, Roxana, for joining us and accepting my invitation to talk about giving. Before I hand over the show to her to talk about giving, I want to just quickly share what is this session going to be about. We are going to be talking about how to incorporate the culture of giving in corporate environments, how to be socially responsible, and the circle effect giving has, and how it helps us reach our own goals by giving to others. I think Roxana will have a lot to bring to the table on this topic, as her journey of giving has really brought her to where she is in life today. A quick introduction about Roxana. Roxana Jaffer is her full name. She's a CEO of Sovereign Hotels Group, operating in several countries but with responsibility for Holiday Inn Barsha. She hails from the UK, starting her career with Dunkin' Donuts in UK before establishing her own donut manufacturing plant. Did you eat a lot of donuts there?
I did too. I was a factor.
Notable is her experience in various fields of startups and planning structures for companies of different backgrounds. After her formal training with Association of Certified and Corporate Accountants, she received an MBA with a merit in leadership as a mature student in the University of Liverpool in 2013. That's very recent. And in 2015, Roxana attained an executive education certificate at the Harvard Business School for negotiation and competitive decision making. She is a recipient of Global International Leadership Awards in 2015, given to women leaders that are reflected by distinct innovations and initiatives, as well as conferred as the Best Women in Hospitality in UAE award in 2015 by Women Leaders in UAE in association with His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Sultan Al Nahyan. Earlier this year, Roxana was recognized as one of the Indian Super 100 Women Achievers in the Middle East and Africa, carrying an article on her titled Pioneering the Fusion of Social Responsibility with Business Strategy. She runs a hotel, Holiday Inn Barsha, with a heart, where their motto is that monetary profits should only be defined by putting people first and planet first, which is escalated down the line to all the departments of the hotel. So before I hand over the mic again to Roxana, the session to Roxana, I invite you all to please participate in the conversation, ask us questions, and also tag people who you think can benefit from this conversation. Roxana, over to you. How do we create a personal culture of giving?
Well, that's quite a...
That was a healthy, meaty introduction.
Actually, I was listening to what you were saying about me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I think I need to cut that down first to half of what it is.
You've achieved so much. Why not share it?
Yeah, but the reason why I like people to hear about it is so that you also have the ability to do as much as I have, and maybe achieve even more. And also, by doing so, you're going to help everybody else and hopefully yourself. And that's what's happened. I've helped myself along the way when I try to inculcate within the people that I know, the stakeholders I get to meet, about understanding altruism, selflessness, giving, etc. So coming to your question, which is talking
about
how to
create a personal culture of giving.
You know, you love stories, and I think we engage our listeners with these stories. Yeah. I just want to start with something that happened to me about 20 years ago. Perhaps a lot of you youngsters were not born at that time who might be listening, but that tells you how old I am. I hail from Africa, and I happened to go about 20 years ago, maybe a little less, 15 years ago, to Tanzania. And when I was at the sea jetty, when we were taking a boat to go to a little island, just outside Dar es Salaam. There was this young kid that came running to me, and if you looked at that young kid, you'd think the poor kid hadn't eaten for days. His nose was running, really running, so you could see that he had a cold. He had just a little loincloth, and he wasn't begging. But we are so tuned to knowing that where you go, there's beggars, and you must give a little bit of money or whatever. So intuitively, I put my hand in my wallet to see what I can find loose change to give him.
Yeah.
And the little kid says to me, and I don't think anybody speaks Swahili, but I do, and he says, "Mama," which means lady, "Apana taka hela, I don't want your money." So I looked at him and I'm thinking, oh my God, that's the first time
Somebody
said, "I don't want your money."
Yeah.
Nataka big pen. Now I don't know whether anybody remembers those pens that we used to use. They were yellow in color, and they were nice biro pens.
Okay.
It was a brand called BIC, B-I-C.
Okay. He wanted a pen.
He wanted that particular pen, a big pen, because when I gave him a pen out of my handbag, he says, "No, I want a big
Why?
pen." Now, can you imagine? For him, that was a kind of status symbol that everybody who had a big pen is going to go to doing bigger things in life.
Oh, okay.
Now,
That's
I
interesting.
learned so much from that little chap
Yeah.
that I said, okay, I took the effort to find out who his parents were, where they lived, etc. And I said, "Abana Maneno, I will send it to you." I said, "Don't worry, I will send it to you." So I found out where this was, and I sent him a big pen. With that, I sent him a book and some little books to read. They were in English. Of course, I didn't have anything in Swahili because I came from England at that time. And today, I converse with him. He writes to me once in a while that he has now reached an age of maybe, 20-something. And he is doing very well. He's got himself a job and he's doing extremely well. And he always says, "Thank you" to me.
Because of the pen.
Now,
That is the pen that made such a big impact on his life.
can you imagine what little kids want? What do people want in life? Do we all always only want to become millionaires and trillionaires and own Rolls Royces and whatever? And where you see that people around you maybe do not even have 2 pennies to rub together, but he didn't want the food. He did not want to clean his nose. I gave him a tissue. He had a cold. I was saying, "I shall give you a Panadol." He didn't want any of that. He wanted a pen because he told me that with a pen I can do better. I can grow and become something.
Yeah.
His aspirations were on a big pen. Now, that was a thing to think of giving. When we are looking around us, when we go to our cities, go to our villages, let's just not think of just the money. Let's think of going a little more and giving them a little bit of ourselves,
Yeah.
a bit of that love that helps us to, for me, that was a big lesson in life. It made me think that, wow, my aspirations were to do what my father wanted me to get to higher
Status in life, earn more money. Yeah.
And I realize now that, you know what, that's going to come.
Yeah.
But along the way, I should help others.
Yeah.
So this is the reason why giving, I felt, was important, because it made me feel good.
Yeah.
It made me feel perhaps more important than I could say in having reached this status or having these awards.
Yeah.
So I've never forgotten that.
Yeah.
Do you
I
know
want to add a little bit here. The reason I chose Roxana for this show is because, for this topic in particular, because I've heard a lot what you have done in your hotel. I've seen the book that you've given me on sustainability, and how you've helped numerous people from being where they are to lifting up to running their own businesses. People who were just doing normal jobs at the
Yes.
hotel, and she'll be sharing those stories soon with all of us.
Yes, I shall try.
But when I was in one of the toughest times of my life, I was all-time low. I had absolutely zero money left in my bank account, and I didn't have money to pay my rent. This is back in 2009. I had actually finished up all my savings. I was going through a tough time in my life, And first thing, whatever little I had, all I did was I prayed and I went and donated a small bit of it. I've never shared this with a lot of people actually. I donated that little bit, and with, of course, a small little greed that I had this belief, or I have a belief that whenever I give, whatever I give, it's going to come back to me in multiple folds. Whatever it is, whether it's love, whether it's money. And at that time, I really needed more money to pay my next rent and to survive and sustain my life in Dubai. And I donated that small money. You won't believe, within a month, that money came back to me 100 times back.
Wow.
It happened.
Wow.
And I really genuinely believe in this topic of giving, in this, in having this kind of an attitude in life. Whatever your place is, there is a way to give, not with money, with various other aspects. And
Yes.
we'll learn more from you on how to bring this culture.
You know, that reminds me of a little line that I enjoy reading again and again, and that's Deepak Chopra's words, whom I think everybody must know who Deepak Chopra is.
Mm-hmm.
And he says the law of giving is that when you crave love, give love.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And when you want to want joy,
Give joy.
give joy. And if you want material possessions, then perhaps participate with others within your possessions.
Yeah.
And I think that helps us to
To
get better.
Yeah.
So
To
perhaps
basically attract the things that we want.
So
to
you
love.
are how do you say the response to Deepak Chopra now? To what he says.
So how can this giving become a personal part? Like, how does it, like, I'm sure it should start with an individual and then it can just like go ahead to the corporations, right?
Yes. Well, let's look at it this way, that we all, I think all your listeners, all of us believe in God. Yes? There may be a few people
There's somebody
who don't,
there, up there, who's
somebody
running
there,
the show.
right?
Yeah.
And all of us have our beliefs in a faith in particular. Okay?
Yeah.
So if I can go back to seeing and take it down to the scriptures, or to what the teachings were, the lofty teachings were of our prophets or our peers. So if I can start off with, say, perhaps Christianity. What does the Bible say? The Bible calls giving, the word is tithe, T-I-T-H-E, tithing. And it's literally, well, it's quite a lot what is written at that time. It's about, it was, I think, Abraham, who gave 10% of what he had to the king of that time, King Salem or someone. And he gave it to him, and for him, what he said was as if he had made his full possession good, and he felt like as if the 10th was giving away everything that he had for God to purify so that he could use. So that comes from Christianity. If I then take it to Hinduism, if I take it to Sikhism, Jainism, the word dana. I don't know whether you know what dana is. Dana. Dan. So dana means to just give. Okay. There is no percentage on what they say, but it is supposedly meant to be selfless. It's given without expectation, and it's given with love. It's given.
And I gave with the expectation of receiving it back, though.
Right, but maybe now you will, after
But now
today's
eventually,
session, hopefully.
even after once I was able to sustain myself, then I don't want, whatever comes back. But I don't give with that attitude. But at that time, I really wanted money to come back.
Yeah, but look at this. I've come on your show with no expectation. I don't think I am going to grow any bigger or any higher. I'm going to have any money is coming out of trees or whatever. But I would like to see that whatever little I say and do is going to impact people, whoever's watching, help them, so that our psyche of thinking,
even if one person takes the message and starts sharing and giving it to others, then it'll do the job. The job is done. Yeah.
And that reminds me of what had happened about 4 or 5 years ago in our hotel. We have so many nationalities working for us, and then one day we decided that we would send about 10 of our people on the day off, which is a Friday in Dubai, to a health clinic. And they were all questioning me why they have to go, etc. I said, look, you're doing nothing. It would make me feel good if you went there and just did a little assessment to tell me how many people in Dubai, because remember, we're all expats here. Not most of us don't have families, right? And those who are very lucky. But a lot of us don't have families here. And you've come. So I said, why don't you go with and help me go to these clinics and see how many of your brethren are suffering from a kind of illness, whether they've got maybe cancer, maybe they're having a blood transfusion, maybe they're having some ailment, they don't know who to talk to or whatever, or how to communicate to the nurses or whatever. And what will they do? They said, we are not medically trained. I said, we are not asking you to give any medical assistance. You go and we'll check out. We did this through HR. It was done as a proper
CSR campaign.
Yeah. And when they went there, they just sat with the patients, and those that were suffering, they just went and they touched their hand like this. The people felt good that there was someone who'd come to see them. They were able to converse with them and say, you know, yes, I've got someone who has got God in him. So they felt that God had come to visit them. And when they went back, then they had a bond. But more than that, what happened was that the people who went there, my employees, my staff, my colleagues, they came back and they told me that when they went back to their countries, their thinking had changed. When they saw an old lady needing help to cross the road, they were there to help. When they saw somebody lying on the street, which happens in Nepal, it happens in India, it happens in Africa, they were able to help them. And I said, what did you get in return? He says, you know what? It just made us feel good. Now, if I can help inculcate a feeling of this.
But feeling good is also not selflessness, is it?
Well, but did they do it with saying that I'm going to get something in return? No.
But it did make us feel good. That is something.
Yeah, but that was the after effect. When they started to do, they did not know that that's what it was for. Do you know what I mean? You're doing it without saying whether
I might feel good, I might not feel.
You don't know how you're going to feel. You don't know, right? Like I didn't know how I was going to feel when I gave that little kid the big pens, when I gave him the books. I did not know where it was going to take. But today, when he writes to me that he has
achieved all that,
he's got a job, he's looking after his family, it makes me feel proud that, oh my God, I did nothing. How much did it cost me sending 3-4 books and this regular letters and whatever? Nothing. You know, it was like maybe £5 in value at that time.
I think to impact people we don't need a lot of money. All we need is a little thought.
That's it.
And an attitude of wanting to help someone.
That's exactly it. So that's what we want to do. We want to inculcate within the people to be socially responsible. Otherwise, what are we here for?
But the day-to-day life is so much demanding. There's so much happening. Like Dubai is so busy. If I take our country, there's so much to do. There's so much at work and family. So how do we take out time?
Well, every night I can go out. Can I not in Dubai? Every night I have an invitation. I can go out. But you know what? I make a point of taking time to do things for others. And I'll give you another example. We have Ramadan. Ramadan in Dubai is amazing, where we all fast, we all break fast together, and maybe we think of God at that time. Why do we only think of God in those 30 days? What happened to the other 335 days? So
we got busy.
Exactly. So, but we get invited to iftars and parties as well. So we are that busy. But so for me, what I do is my thought is that in those 30 days, I would like to do one good deed a day. This is
only in Ramadan 30 days you're talking about.
Because those 30 days then become my schooling for the rest of the 335 days. So in those 30 days, if I do not do a good deed on that day, I will find myself. I will find myself to pay money to give to someone else. So you see, this is what I'm saying. Giving is not all about money. It's about doing things for the others. So for instance, I have people working around me. I will cook some food and I'm going to take it down to them and make them feel, oh my God, there's someone, manna has come from above and to help me. Or I might actually stop on the roads where, you know, people are very unkind on the roads, right? Nobody allows you to drive faster or change lanes.
You let people go and let people drive faster.
And let people go ahead of me, because you know what? Okay, your need is
more than mine.
You go ahead, it's fine. So there are things like that, or a smile. or a thank you.
These are all good deeds. They
These
are actually.
are
But do
they
you
not?
account for the deeds for the day?
I have to make it more meaningful than that. But
For example, what do you do?
but for instance, like I would actually go and think about, okay, who can I help? What am I going to be able to do physically and help? So if I have to go at one of those charity organizations and give some help, I would do that. But but those are planned. The others come unplanned because at 30 days I have to think of one every day.
Yeah.
Now they sometimes
That's a
happen.
lot.
They sometimes happen. And I'll tell you, only today, there was this old man that I was conversing with, and he was speaking very loudly. Very loudly.
In the hotel,
okay?
yeah.
Yes, in the hotel. And this lady came along and she was having a little meeting with us, and she's telling us, and then she's telling me quietly because she thought he can't hear. And she says, don't have this big conversation with him because I need to rush. And, it's he's very irritating with his loud voice.
You heard that.
So he didn't hear it, but I heard it. And I said, do you not think that one day you're going to reach that age? Will somebody be unkind to you then? And how will you feel? Now, and you just told me a minute ago, I'm very direct. And I am. And she thought about it and she says, Roxana, you're so right. I'm really sorry. And hi, can I help you? Yes, it's okay. And she carried on talking. Now for me, an opportunity came
To advise.
for a good deed to be done, to advise this lady who wasn't thinking. She had, it's innate in you. You want to help, it's innate. But she wanted to go for a smoke.
And that's why she wanted to hand over the, okay.
Which is what I realized. So I actually look for things and they just happen naturally.
The giving concept is not about just going and giving charity or doing, it starts with small things of acts of kindness as well.
That's right. It starts small to grow bigger. If you don't start having this psyche in you to be able to help others and be altruistic.
But don't you think that's a quality of a human being?
Yes.
It's supposed to be part of, we are supposed to be like that, of being kind.
Yes, it's innate in us. It's something that God has given us. It's there. It's not learned. It's not learned. It's there.
Yeah.
I need to eke it out of people. That's
it's
my
lost
job.
Somewhere.
Yeah, it's my job as a boss to eke it out of my people.
Yeah.
Right? And we just talked about how many nationalities we have.
Yeah.
When they come, they're only thinking of their family, who is really perhaps not in a good way. They want to earn money. They want to send the money back and make sure that their brothers and sisters are sorted. Their father may be in hospital to look out. All this is there.
Yeah.
But within that, how can I make that guy feel that, there are others worse off than you? And I'll give you an example. We talked about how corporates do it. In our housekeeping department, we've got a really nice young lad who's physically, mentally challenged that we employ. Now, everybody would ask, why would you want to employ somebody who's physically, mentally challenged? But he came out of a school, a challenge school, and he'd reached his age, and he was going to just sit at home and do nothing. We decided that we will pay him a salary, give him worth. We gave him sense of worth, of the being of that person. We allowed him to come into our housekeeping. All he does is take shirts and put them on a hanger and puts them up. He moves them from A to B to C, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Now, you will say, that job can be done by someone in an hour. Where we pay him for maybe, I don't know, I think he comes at 9 and leaves at 2. So we pay him for that many hours. And but it's a joy to have him there. All the other people say that they enjoy working with him. People who are harsh and not humble have suddenly humbled because they realize that God has given you
so much more
than the little child there.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And they become more giving of themselves. And love, happiness comes through. That department is doing so well.
Yeah.
Do you see? Now, as a corporate, that's what we are instilling.
Yeah.
But it would not have come. And I'll tell you how, another important thing now is how does this feeling get inculcated in everybody else. How did it happen? I'll tell you, when we were thinking of, we talked about cost optimization last time, where we're reaching a crux in Dubai, where we want to cut costs, right? Yeah. And so, of course, every department had to decide as to where, how, who was to go. And, of course, we came up and said that, look, we need to let this
some people go,
challenged person go, because he was not adding value to other. You know what my team of the housekeeping team said? Ma'am, we would like you to take 20 dirhams of our salary from all of us and keep him and pay him. Now, isn't that a beautiful thought?
Yeah.
Was I going to take the 20 dirhams? No. It's going to make no difference to me. Was I going to let the kid go? No. Because it would have made a big difference to him. And it's made a difference to everybody in the department.
But then how can corporates think like that for everybody they let go of?
Well, I'm not talking about letting everybody go. Those who don't deliver, you have to let go.
Like you rightly said, we are going through economic downturn and things are tight. So we have to let even good people go, even if,
not good people.
Or maybe transfer a lot of double responsibility on our current staff and let some staff go away.
Yeah.
Probably they're not bad, they're equally good, but just they have to go.
No, we have systems in place how we do that. Okay. But that's another subject. We empower the teams to work according to what we expect, what the job description is and where they are, and we feel that if they've not reached that level, we give them 3 months for them to better themselves. If they don't, then we ask them, how do you want us to keep you? So the whole thing comes from them. So we have a process in place.
Process,
a sustainable process, but that's
harsh process.
Yeah, but that's not today's topic, I think. So we might
we'll go back to our topic. Yeah,
we might digress. But this was all about giving and how we inculcate it in our staff so that they think of the bigger things and greater things and go back refreshed and grown to their countries.
So the merit in giving is feeling good.
Okay, I can give you many more. Feeling good is a very important one, but I think don't you think, for instance, okay, let me. It's not just about feeling good. Let me tell you about the NGO we have. Yeah, we have founded an NGO called ABC, which is an advent for building human capital, and we had a child working with us, kid working with us, young, who didn't speak English, and we managed to train him through our the NGO
and teach him English.
And teach him English. Today he moved 3 or 4 ranks up, where he could not have done that without
the
language that we gave him. So much so that today he has come back. He came to us saying that, look, now I would like to leave you and I want to go into entrepreneurship. Okay. We looked at his business proposal.
This is somebody working again in the hotel who was fixing up lights and stuff, with a handyman.
Yes.
We spoke about
and now he has a company and he is doing things around Dubai in bigger buildings, and he's got his own maintenance company that he does.
Just by learning the language English.
That we were able to give him free. Now,
can you believe the power of learning a language? The handyman suddenly became an entrepreneur and started running his own business.
Yes. Now, the point is, yes, I did it. I'm happy, whatever. But what is the crux of it is that he has helped his whole family. He's helped his little village. That village has now started to see the merit of this and started to learn the language and started to do better. Now,
the impact has been so much more further down.
So where do you think, I mean, yes, I can say I'm feeling happy, but I don't think that's all it is. When you have the impact that's being seen and done by others.
What is the feeling? What else is there?
So when you go back, when you come back and you say, oh my God, did I do that? Did I do that? Did I go out to do this? Did I really go out with the thing, what you said, when I gave little money, is it what I was going to get back? You don't know that. Right? And the Hindu religion that we talks about dana, because they say this is going to be for a spiritual benefit. I don't know. I haven't gone there to find out, but I'm finding it out here. So really, there's also not just the physical, but also the spiritual is what
the merits of giving.
Religions say. And we talked about two religions. The zakat is the third religion in Islam, where it's I believe 2.5% of certain amount of belongings that you give to the mosque and to look after the mosque and the people. So technically, every religion sort of asks the individual to be giving, to give. I've taken it a little different. We're not wanting to only give money because that can be classified as philanthropy, but I'm trying to get us to become a culture of giving of oneself. If you have 24 hours, you sleep for say 7 hours, you've got 14 hours still left. You're working 8 hours, you've got so many hours left. What if you give half an hour out of that time? Are you that busy that you cannot give half an hour, even if it is for your own family, or thinking about something to do that's the betterment of others? That's all I ask.
So how do we do this?
By sitting down and meditating and thinking. Shukr, I'm blessed. Gratitude. Give your thanks to God. And say, I'm so blessed. You are a beautiful woman. I said that I don't want to take a picture next to Namita because that doesn't make me look good. Right? So you're so blessed that you've got these looks. You've got that intellect. You've come into a family that gave you education. Right? Isn't that something that you feel will make you feel happier if you were to do this? You're running after making more money, more this, more fame, more. Yes, but when will it stop? When will it stop? I need to now start, and I didn't do this when I'm this age. I was doing it when I was 20, and I think with doing that, it's made me feel and come to a level where I am very satisfied with myself. We only look at people who've made money.
It gives fulfillment.
Exactly. Right?
Giving gives, I think, more than feeling good, that's the fulfillment, the joy of.
So let's ask everybody to see how much time, what can you give which doesn't cost? A little bit of your time, right? How about...
That's the most precious commodity on this planet, by the way.
Of course it is.
That's all we have.
Yeah.
That is limited time.
Well, not really. We've got 86,400 seconds a day. So can you not give a few of those away?
Yeah. We can now, if we talk about those kind of numbers.
I hope my calculation's right there. But
yeah, it is probably.
Yeah. So if we can give only a little bit out of that and keep it to help others or to think about others even, I think you're going to be very fulfilled, you're going to be very happy, and you're going to be not only having physical growth, you will have spiritual growth.
Yeah.
This is
I think one of the achievement of living a good life is living a fulfilling life, and I believe that fulfillment does not come by serving yourself. It only comes when you serve others, whether it's your family members, your friends, when you do something for not yourself. That is what fulfillment is, right?
Yes. I think you can do my presentation better than me now.
I just recently realized this myself. Because I keep saying this affirmation, I want to live a joyful and a fulfilling life.
Yes.
And where does joy come from?
Yes.
Joy comes from doing something for others.
Yes.
I've realized that whenever I do something or help someone by just sharing my time or talking to them or giving them whatever I think is the right, and it helps them in having a better relationship or having a better job or whatever, I feel the joy. I feel the fulfillment. So...
Yes, you do.
Yeah, we're going somewhere there.
That's great.
So how can other corporates adapt? Now this is the individual level that we give away half an hour, we think and we idealize, like we come up with different options or opportunities of how we can help. Can you add to that what all different things people can do on individual level for just half an hour?
Okay, now let's look at it from the corporate side, right? We've all heard CSR as being corporate social responsibility. So what is happening is it's imposing on corporates who are making money to be able to think of avenues where they can share a little bit of their profit, their wealth, to help others. Okay? Now that doesn't necessarily always happen if the leader sitting at the top doesn't want to part with any of the money or any of the knowledge or any of any giving of any sort.
Yeah.
Okay. In India, I know what has happened now is since 2014 have passed a legislation, a law, that all corporates earning a certain amount of profit by law have to give 2% of their profits for
charity. Okay.
They're being imposed, okay? And that's tax allowable.
Okay.
Right.
So that you don't pay taxes for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now so I come from England where I grew up looking, raising funds for charity walks. I grew up fundraising for big, organizations. I mean, I remember one of them was £6 million on where we raised money to give. It was an organization called Focus,
Okay.
and of course, right now, today's time, we have so many of these. Big crises happening, natural disasters happening. You see people are hungry, people are destitute. There's a lot of people at UNHCR who are migrants who need help. Now, the media is making you want to do something. We didn't have that 10, 15 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And now suddenly we are all getting
exposed to all those opportunities which are there for people,
right?
Yeah.
Now, so for corporates, it's become easier also that they have this pet charity, pet NGO, pet place that they want to park their money with, to park their money with, or to help that organization. But for all of us, we can do the same thing. Our governmental, there's so many drives in Dubai alone. There is going to be this can collection, keeping the beach clean.
Yeah.
Why can't we just go in there on a Friday? It's fun. It's our day off when we are, and we go there and help keep the beach clean. And you suddenly realize it's doing something for someone. It's not only for us. And you will make friends doing it as well. You're going to help. So there's going to be an after effect. But for coming back to corporates now, if we are just giving that 2% is finished, we've done the philanthropy,
given the money,
but that doesn't give fulfillment.
No.
So when I was thinking and toying about with the word corporate social responsibility, that means my corporate has to be socially responsible. I thought it can only be as far responsible as the people it employs. If all 300 of us were socially responsible, we could actually say we are doing what CSR means, because each one is doing it. And right now we have drives where we are looking after saving water. So what our staff came up with, okay, let's put a little sticker on all the wash basins in our hotel. We have 310 rooms and we have about 400, 500 sinks. Let's put a little sticker. Please save water when you're brushing, so don't leave the water on.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, water is a commodity that's scarce.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years, and we're going to maybe be fighting for water.
Yeah.
People have come back, guests have come back saying, oh my God, you know what? I didn't do this. I've now started to do this naturally. I put this down.
Yeah.
Now, thanks to my staff.
Yeah.
They did that. The other thing is that they also look at the landfill. How much waste is going to the landfill? Can we segregate it? Can we recycle it? And so therefore our landfill costs are going less. So we're looking after the carbon footprint. We're looking after the environment now. Okay, coming from little drives that we put into the
hotel that you're doing yourself into the
right. So our corporate is already helping. Then we have partners with United Nations, and through the United Nations, through the efforts of all our staff, last year 2016, we raised funds to feed 68,000 hungry children in the world. How many?
68,000.
Okay. Overall, up to now, up to the end of last year, we were at 366. I brought these figures down somewhere, but anyway, it's 366,000 children that we have helped. Do you think the people who are working for us didn't have to put a penny in giving towards this charity? but by putting themselves out, were able to bring in all these funds, which we gave to United Nations, knowing it's going where it's going, and fed this many. What does that make you feel?
Fulfilled.
When you eat something on your plate, you will think, wow, I'm so happy that today we were able to help that many people be fed where they don't have any food, whilst we waste food here. You see?
Yeah.
So, coming back to corporate social responsibility, the companies themselves can all get together, help, and become. I don't know whether you know much about United Nations Global Compact.
Mm-hmm.
This is the UNGC. I don't think it can be seen on...
A little bit, it can.
It can be, okay.
Yeah.
And United Nations has 17 sustainability development goals.
So how can... This is all for corporates only, or it's for individuals
Everybody
as well?
can go and look them. Today,
it's all internet.
You're teaching everything to us, are you not?
Yeah.
on
digital.
On digital, yeah. So through digital, you can find out we want to try a drive for no poverty. Mm-hmm. How do we do it? If you want to look at zero hunger, how do we do it? So forth. So we have done zero hunger is one of ours, which I just told you. We've got another one, good health.
So you basically participate in these drives which are already running by just contributing to them and then sending them the funds.
No, good health and well-being is no funds. I've told my staff that we have to have a drive whereby, and HR manages this, whereby we are going to teach everybody the merits of being fit and healthy. Mm-hmm. So what they do is we tell them that we are not going to walk we're not going to take the lift for the 9 floors if you don't need to carry anything. If you can walk 2 floors out of that, we're going to be healthier. Now, it didn't cost me anything, but I'm helping another, I'm giving them an opportunity to better themselves. Because in long run, the healthier the person, the better it is for me and the world. So these are a few drives that we can bring in, that we can do. So
I think, that it all comes down to just sitting down and thinking, what are these little things we can do for ourselves?
Yes.
And also empower others to do it.
Yes.
As a corporate and as an individual.
Yes.
And how is the circle effect? How is it going to help us reach our goals?
Well, how do you think? You've just told me you're going to get fulfilled. So
one of the goals is fulfillment, living a fulfilling and joyful life.
Yes. And how do you think it's going to come back to you?
I just believe that it's a circle of life. Whatever you give comes back. That is my genuine belief.
So the religious tell us, dana in the Hinduism, in the Sikhism, and the Jainism, is that whatever you do is your karma. It's going to come back to you in the end anyway, right? Yeah. And I think it comes back in this life as much as it comes back in this in the life.
So how do we entrepreneurs who are so small at a solopreneur level or a small business participate in things like this?
Yes, they should.
How do they take out, like you said, take out this half an hour? I mean, as a corporate, you can do like making people take the elevator or something like that. But how do small businesses do this for themselves? Just sit and think and...
Okay, what you're going to do now. There is a walk happening for charity on Friday, or I think it's this Friday, okay? I run 2 marathons. And that was done for cancer research, one of them, and one of them was...
So participate in the events that are happening around you. Look at the opportunities which are around you. And
you know what? You wear your t-shirt which says above digital.
Yeah.
You will be given something back straight away. Your business will come. Somebody will remember above digital. They'll remember Namita, and they'll say, she helps. I'm going to help her. I'm going to bring her business. So it's
just going to cycle itself.
It's going to cycle itself, right? Yeah. Right now, why do you think you came and asked me to come on your show? Because you heard a little about what I do.
Yeah. It just made sense to share it with my audience, and
exactly.
I decided to do the show.
So, and I hope that it's going to take it further. Somebody's going to be taking at least one little leaf out of what we've said today. And maybe
plan some activity this week or today, probably.
Inshallah. Yes.
Well, we have some questions popping up on the show. So let's see, what do we have? We have some people sharing. We have Jitinder Raghav saying awesome. Roy Pereira, it's a nice message by Roxana to the people. Gautam Mustafa says, well said. Thank you, Gautam. We have Sunita Negi says, inspiring story, guys. Thank you, Sunita. Akbar Motani says, I have seen so many people progressing through with the help of ABC.org. Amazing work being carried under her leadership.
Yes,
fantastic. Kezia says Roxana is ABC NGO has certainly impacted so many in need of growth, development, advent for human capital. And this is all part of culture of giving. Fantastic. There's a question from Cham Mustafa. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name correct. Miss RJ, how can we differentiate well-deserving people or recognize deserving people when we do charity? How do we recognize?
You have to do some homework. You have to think, you've got to do a feasibility study on who you want to work with and help. If it's going to be an organization, if you want to form a collaboration, you need to know who you're doing it with. Mm-hmm. Now, I have collaborations with several, which are on a corporate level. So, for instance, for United Nations, we've got the Al Noor School for Disabled Children. We already know that they are established and they are helping.
But that's on
others.
The bigger level. What about on the smaller level? How do we know if the person who's asking for charity is actually well deserving?
Okay, did I know that little kid who wanted a big pen?
Yeah.
Do you think it was a deserving charity or
absolutely
not? I just have the gut feeling to say that
you go by your
gut.
gut.
You go by your gut.
You know when somebody's lying or somebody's genuine when they're asking.
No, but you can be done. And there are many instances, and there are many NGOs, and there are many organizations where I know in America where people have been spoofed when they've given money. So you got to, when you're giving money, when you're parting with money, you got to make sure that you know
it's going to the right person.
But when you're going to be helping
on individual
to your neighbor, to your friend, to saying thank you, do you need to?
It's just go by your gut.
Yeah, you don't need to check on them.
You just go by your gut.
Sorry. But you know what? At least you started to think that you want to give and how you're going to be able to help the others, and that's something that I'm happy that you're doing, Mr. Chan. Is it Mr. Chan?
Mr. Chan.
Chan. Yes, that's great because you're already thinking. And but don't let that stop you. Don't let it stop you, because you know what? Sometimes there are people who will say, I don't think the money is going to the right place, so I don't want to give it to them. But you know what? Your niyat was there. Your intention was there. You've given it. That's what. It ends.
What the other person does is his karma.
It's his karma. You're not going to go around and
just waste your time in recognizing whether it was right or wrong.
And
Ghulam Mustafa says, believing that tomorrow, if I have a need, God will use the abundance of others to meet my need.
Wow.
This is how charity comes back as well.
Yes.
Roxanne says, in today's world, CSR is given equal priority as much as talent acquisition.
Okay.
And Kezia says, yes, Namita, time, it is a concern, especially in a city like Dubai, but we can all commit to some time towards helping others. No matter where you are, who you are, starting with small help is already a great begin.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you something there. Kezia is one of our founder members of ABC. She's Brazilian. The point is, when you are from one culture, you always feel you want to help that culture.
Yeah.
You're not. But she's a million miles away. Yeah. And she changed course, or she decided it didn't matter. As long as it was helping humanity. It didn't matter what the color of the skin was, where they hailed from, or whether they were female or male, or whether, as long as they were needing, and that's humanity, and that you're going to help. That takes me to somebody called Marcus Cicero. I don't know whether you heard of that name. He's a philosopher by note, and you know what he says is, not for ourselves alone are we born. I like that line. Not for ourselves alone are we born. If we have that feeling in our heart, you will think, I am here for others too. I have another maqsad. I have another destination. I have another goal to go. And it's like Prophet Muhammad's word that I like to quote also, because that's part of our CSR drive. It's not what I have achieved that matters. It is what I have helped others achieve
that matters.
That is social conscience. So we talked about innate. Social conscience is innate. You do not want to hurt anybody because it's a social conscience.
Yeah.
Same way, social conscience wants to help others. Go beyond hurting someone, is that. And so I'd like to just say that's my best line. It's not what I have
Just
achieved
not
in
that-
life that matters. It is what I have helped others
achieve in life. That matters.
That's a social conscience in Islam.
And on that note, I hope all of you enjoyed our show today. Thank you so much for being part of the conversation. If you have more questions or comments, do post them below, and me or Roxana will definitely look into it. And do tag people you think should hear this conversation. Today's topic of giving, for all those of you are listening, there's a reason you are listening to this. And maybe it's time that you probably participate in doing some giving. That's why it's come to you. And again, I truly believe what goes around comes around. Whatever you want in life, love, joy, respect, money, give it to receive it back. If you're watching a replay of the session again, please do post your questions, and do share the video with people you think can benefit. Thank you so much for watching this live, and see you all next time in 2 weeks from now. We are going to have a conversation with Cordelia Henry about building your net worth with your network. It's very, very good. It's going to be an amazing conversation, especially for small businesses and entrepreneurs who want to grow big in their business. It's all about knowing the right people and having the right connections. So until then, wish you a lovely week ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you and bye.